Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. So it's Friday, Friday's request day. Today's map was requested by the creator and has been voted in by the BonBonB buddies over on Patreon. Now, if you liked yesterday's map, especially the terrain, you're going to love today's. It is a stunning, stunning map. It does have one major problem with it, and it's a problem that makes me fume. It's the one thing that makes me angry more than any other problem that makes me angry. Now, don't worry, I have got a solution for it, a quick fix, so it won't make you angry, but oof, blimey, I'll tell you, I was livid. One thing to calm me down, just one thing that you could do to calm me down is... That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thanks for your support. So today's map is Allegany by Bok Maxima, and yes, I have done a little bit of research. I think I've got the correct, not Allegany, Allegany, no, Allegany I think is the correct pronunciation there. There's your start square, and not a huge amount of flat area, but all accessible, I would say definitely usable. There's your terrain map. A lot of you are liking that, so I'm going to keep sticking with it. Thank you very much for suggestion overlord. And there are your resources. Lots of fertile ore in the mountains and a little bit of oil in the water. Basically very usable. Now off to the workshop. It's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit. You'll also want unlimited trees. The realistic 1.4.5 European theme, 81 tiles. This is a suggestion, of course. Network extensions too, and apparently that is it. Well, when you roll to the bottom of the comments, there's a comment in French there, and somebody's got a problem actually loading the map up. I had the exact same problem, but I have fixed it. But it is a bad one. But I fixed it, and you don't need to worry about it. We'll cover this in the second half of today's show, but livid, because sadly Bok Maxima hasn't replied. Maybe they don't know any French. Bridges, maybe they don't know enough French, but I think even without French you can see that it's a null exception rule, and so I have fixed it. The fix is one that you won't need to worry about. Encroaching trees, worry about those a little bit on today's map, but not hugely bad. It's not hugely bad. Yes, so for me this, I don't like being stressed. Bridges, they looked a bit dodge. I wonder if there's blue mantle anywhere. So check under here possibly, but yeah, look at these bridges. They're not perfectly aligned. They're just a little bit squiffed, if that makes sense. I just feel that these would be matching. I feel that they'd be matching. Anyway, shall we keep rolling? I've got a feeling we see blue mantle under this one. So yeah, I knew there was going to be blue mantle somewhere as we went along. Have a little look under here. Yep, there's a little bit, a hint of it coming under there. Still not the worst, but definitely an issue. Not a huge issue, but an issue. Yeah, I don't like stress. I'm like many of you. I play this game to relax, and I want to play on a nice cozy map or a challenging map. I don't want the map to make me cry into my coffee. Where's that track going? We might have a look at that after the intermission, maybe. Plenty of things to look at on this map, like what's going on with the rail underneath the highways here. We'll have a look at that after the intermission, definitely having a look at that. And now back into the actual build plane. Now, welcome to Maryland, the home of the cookies. Now, is this a thing just in the United Kingdom where we've named cookies after a place, an exotic place in the world? Which Maryland is exotic when you live in the United Kingdom. Yes, is it Maryland cookies is just a British thing, or are cookies a Maryland thing? If you are from the good old other side of the pond, could you let me know? Because it's been nagging at me since I started doing this map. Maryland cookies. Anyways, yes, now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry for some cookies. Yeah, we'll keep rolling. There's plenty of things to look at in the peripheral views here. We're not mostly looking at the roads here at all. We're just having a look at build plane and planning where your city might go. That's the whole point of these fly-throughs on the networks. It isn't just to find the errors, which it kind of is also to find the errors. Now down here, this is, I mean, it's not an exact copy of Allegany. We are Allegany. we've got here, this roundabout doesn't exist in real life. It's kind of like a curved highway, but we do have like a retaining wall along the side of it in real life, but it's on the opposite side of the rail as well, so it's all kind of like a little bit creative. But the placement of that key, the supporting wall key, retaining wall key, is just a little bit awkward. Now I'm just going to do a little quick fix. It's going to be a real quick budget fix, but I think my fix is probably going to be instantly better than what was in place by Bot Maxima. Let me just drop the whole thing down because it just looks a little bit cruddy there. Drop that down. I probably dropped it down a little bit too far, but we'll have a little look at that. How we looking to move that in a little bit closer there. We'll bend that out, and let's just have a little butchers around here. Butchers, of course, English term. A little bit of Cockney rhyming slang going on there. Butchers being another a different way of saying to look at something. We're gonna have a little butcher's hook, a look at something. Education, bit of education. How about that? Not it's going to come useful for most of you. Oh crikey, a little bit glitchy into there as well. But yes, I think if you're going to put a retaining wall in, I think it's got to at least work a little bit. So I have kind of massacred this a little bit, but I still think that is an improvement in just a few seconds that I've spent, even with the blue mantle at the end of the key there. I still think that's an improvement on what the creator had given us. Now we have got some traffic tailback going up to here, which wouldn't be a huge problem, except for this is the start square. You don't want traffic tailing back even before you start building. And you can see the stop-start issue we've got going on here. You can also see we've got pillars in the highway, which is just a little bit awkward and uncomfortable, and not something I'm particularly keen on. Let me come a little bit closer. There we are. Right, so somewhere around here should be, given that we're in the start square, the Shell gas station by Conno. Now this is a pack of 4 items. You can probably work out what the 4 separate items are, and I have used Surface Painter on the ground to bring it all together. This is probably not how you want to do your layout. That's the great thing with these 4 items, is you can mix and match and make them work how you like. And also, of course, you can use Move It to push them all together into different combos. Factoids, because factoids. How about we'll go to the opposite side of the good old US of A here. California is the largest prune producing area in the world. This is not the first thing you think of when you think of California, is it? You think of Arnie, you think of LA, you think of it being hot, you think of earthquakes, but you also now think of prunes. Which cause earthquakes in the old stomach regions, don't they, if you eat too many? Anyway, Shell gas station by Conno. Gas and prunes go together, don't they? The biggest producer of natural gas in the world are prunes. Anyway, we'll carry on, shall we? So yes, a big old tailback there. Not something that I'm particularly happy with in the start square, but you're kind of going to lose a star for gameplay there, I would suggest. And then we'll follow the highways. There are a few other routes and minor roads on the map, but I think we'll just follow the highway up and out. Like here, I like in this. Okay, this intersection, it could be a little bit smoother and a little bit cleaner, but it's still quite neat, if I'm honest with you. We have got merge lanes as well, so we're going from 3 lanes down to 2 and 1. And then that nips down to the national road underneath, and then 3 lanes and 2 and 1 there as well. It's all quite slickly done and tidy as well. And then 3 lanes, 2 and 1 there also. It's all pretty good. Have you got any mantle? No, it's actually all right. I've had a feeling that there was almost certainly going to be mantle under there, but pretty clean. It's pretty clean. What's the traffic doing down here? Traffic's just being, why are you going that way? Surely the other route was quicker. I don't know. And at that point, a big old truck pulls up outside my window. If you can hear grumbling now outside my window, a low grumble, that's because there's a great big Arctic Thank you. And that heads off in towards the fog. Yeah, just give you an idea of what the traffic is. I suffer badly, a little bit of jinky janky there. I suffer badly from traffic outside my window. It's quite a busy location, and I did actually stand at my front door when I was due to be recording once, and counted the amount of vehicles that went past in a 5-minute period. I actually did this twice in the space of half an hour, and it averaged out at 7 vehicles in 5 minutes. You say, well, 7's not that many encroaching trees there. 7 vehicles in 5 minutes, BonBon, that's not too bad, is it? Well, it is when it's 3:30 in the morning. I was recording at 3 a.m. and then at 3:30 a.m. Onto the rail. The rail is very slick and smooth. You will find trees encroaching onto the catenaries here and there. We're not going to look at every single one. I'll show you one of them. There we are. Of course, easily fixed with the catenary replacer if you want to get rid of them completely. So yes, averaging at 7 vehicles in a 5-minute period at 3:30 or 3 and 3:30 in the morning. And of course, I'm currently recording, and it's actually pretty much, where are we? 9 a.m. at the time I'm recording at the moment, which for me is very busy outside, and we're getting trucks. It's a commercial area as well, and I just get constant rambles and motorbikes whizzing past, and it's a direct route to the town centre here, so we get all the emergency vehicles bombing past with sirens, and it's just a loud area. And I don't have double glazing. I've mentioned this before in the past. And we're in the summer now, so I've got my window very slightly ajar as well because it gets too hot. So frankly, see, I'm talking about other stuff here because there's not really too much to say about the rail. The rail is just smooth and beautiful, isn't it? It's just smooth and beautiful. Yes, so I'll talk about my traffic issues here. The game has traffic issues, and BonBon has traffic issues too. Vehicles just rumbling past. I mean, literally just every few seconds of one going past, and taking a bit of a rat run, a shortcut of trying to avoid some traffic lights, local traffic lights, and that's the route they go for. Catenaries on the rail there. Yeah, so I got they're taking the shortcut. Traffic always takes the shortest route. Remember that? The fastest route in Cities Skylines. Oh, now this looks okay, doesn't it? But we're cut really sharply into the mountain. They even call it a mountain, big hill. And if we pull back, we're almost going to see some glitching. We can pull back a little bit further. There we go, a little bit of the zigzag glitching going on there. And I'm pretty sure if we pull back further, we'll get some mantle. So that's only going to really affect you if you're trying to get some screenshots from a distance where the terrain has just been stretched. The mesh has been stretched so much it starts to split. But I'm not marking the map down on that because that is only a very specific thing if you're taking a screenshot from that kind of angle, from that kind of distance. That's the only time that would be affected. But come back after the intermission because I'm going to start moaning about things. Oh, yes, I am.
Do your bridges look like the game's AI has gone on holiday? Would you like vanilla bridges to be proud of? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Perfect Bridges by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And so back to Allegany by Boc Maxima. There are no shipping routes. The rivers are finally just too thin. As for, there could be an air route on here. There probably isn't an airport in the area, but I feel if you're doing the generic build, you probably would want to have an airport just to be able to build an airport. So air routes would have added or would have prevented the loss of a gameplay start, I would suggest. Rivers. The rivers are quite narrow, but they do flow naturally. It looks really quite narrow and light flow. Well, we're going a long route down to the start square here, by the way, because I just wanted to show this. This is a very neatly done, a very nicely done river network. Possibly a little bit too weak for a big city build, but certainly something that you can play with here, because we're in the start square here. And if you have a little look, if we just grab the sewage, the big one, there we go. You can see how big those are compared to the river. So I would suggest that this is kind of I would suggest custom assets on this map. I really would. In fact, I feel this map would look amazing with loads of custom assets plots all over it. Anyway, the river does carry on and it does flow downstream. I'm going to go all the way down there because normally we see a bit of backflow off of the edge of the map. when we get down. If we have a little, come in closer here, you can see the water still flowing away from us. You can actually see the foam just floating away from us. So I think that's a really good river network. Just needs a little bit more potency for a vanilla style game, but it's not a vanilla map, so I can't really criticise. We did promise we'd have a little look at the rail here, and I'm loving the rail over rail little bit there. We've got missing catenary. Why have we got missing catenary there? Where have you gone? Huh? I don't understand. That's weird. Anyway, and then down here we've got more catenaries in tracks. But what's going on? Have we got a tunnel underneath here? Local knowledge needed here, guys. What? Were they building a tunnel and then didn't get around to doing it? Or what? I don't know. Local knowledge would be very helpful if you know that particular area. Not that it matters much at all, really, but I think it'd just be good to know. So anyway, we've got a lot of trees on this map. Basically all vanilla, apart from one, but that one doesn't actually appear in the description. There's your vanilla trees. I'm looking around for that one custom tree, and this is what's making me cross. Not so much the custom tree, because missing a tree isn't necessarily a huge problem. It's when you got missing assets that break the map. Let me just search for it and find it here. Leafy, I think it's got to be this one. pdelmo's Leafy Tree. Right, I'll drop that down to brush size 1. So yes, that is missing. So you'll need to subscribe to that, and I will include a link to that in the description. I don't normally do this, but I'm doing it for a reason. Because the reason why I am really cross with this map is there is another missing asset. And that is down the river here. Now remember we've seen the vanilla key already used as a retaining wall. Well, these keys here, these steel walled keys by BadPeanut, well, they're only used in this location, but they're not on the required list. And these being missing, unless you're actually already subscribed to them, these are actually breaking the map. So I will again, of course, I will link these into the description so that you can actually subscribe to them from there. But for me, look, here's your vanilla key. Why didn't they just use the vanilla key down there? That would have done exactly the same job. Wouldn't have broken the map if you've forgotten about things. And mountains, mama. Yeah. So yeah, that's just the one thing. That's the one thing that makes me cross more than anything, because you waste your time loading up the map. It can take several minutes or a lot longer depending on your system, and if the map is broken, all because there's a missing asset, well, that makes me cross. Let me just show you here. This is Maryland, okay? This is Maryland. Just a little bit of geography going on here, because I did do a little bit of look at Google Earth. This is all Maryland around here, and over there as well. Everything down that way, that's all Maryland too, okay? Except for it's not all Maryland on this map. You see this little peninsula here with the rivers, you see this bit here going up to the mountains, mama. Can you guess what state that is? There's a clue there. Mountains, mama. Yes, it's West Virginia. And everything, if you don't cross a river over here, is all in West Virginia. So I found that quite interesting to see how the rivers actually cause the state boundaries. It's not something I'm hugely hot on, but there we are. And loads of trees. Loads. I just love the terrain on this map. Yeah, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Well, only you can decide. And I think your vote is going to be a little bit split on this one. Aesthetically, I love this map. I love this map. I don't think there's a whole lot more they could have done, which would have made it, I mean, short of using a load of custom assets, I don't feel it was really needed. I'm gonna give it 5 stars for aesthetics. I adore this. Detail. See, now, detail, already losing a star because of missing assets off of the workshop, so that's one gone. And then we've got little things like pillars in highways and a little bit of blue mantle and stuff. I don't think it's enough to drop it to 2 stars, but it gets 3 stars. I'm going to call it middle to high 3 for detail. Gameplay potential. this would score very, very highly indeed, except for I have to mark it as I found it. And unless you are prepared, once you've loaded up the game and you find it's broken, assuming you haven't got BadPeanut's key, to go into loading screen, reports, and then find the missing blah, 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 this will be a broken game. So I will have to mark it as 1 star. It deserves more, but I have to mark it as found. Allegany by a Bock Maxima. A map that would have got the seal of approval had it not been for missing assets on the workshop. And that's a simple fact. Sorry. If you can add them to your description, Bock Maxima, that would be a huge plus, especially as you asked for the map to be reviewed. I've reviewed it, and if you can make that minor change, I can't put the points back on, but it will help anybody subscribing to your map in the future. Of course, all the missing assets are linked into my description down below, so feel free to click there. That's me done. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and subscribing. I'll see you tomorrow for another map in the What Map series.